Hello, my name is Drew, and welcome to my channel. I've been drumming for about 30 years. I've taught lessons, I've played in bands, I've bought and sold drums on eBay, I've converted acoustic kits to electronic kits, and I figured I'd finally put some of that on camera. So welcome to Drum with Drew. I've been playing drums since 1996. I started taking lessons before 5th grade. In high school, I played in marching band, concert band, jazz band, drumline, percussion ensemble, basically all the things music. After finishing high school, I played in a local band here in Wichita called Alienate for a while, and then retired from live gigging and have continued to just play casually. I'm not trying to be a guru here, I'm just a guy who has a genuine passion for drumming and enjoys figuring out how things work. This channel is going to cover honest gear reviews, instructional content, and build projects, documenting the journey, not just the destination. To understand where we're going, it helps to know where I've been, and I've been through a number of different kits. In 1996, my parents bought me my first drum set, a blue 5-piece Ludwig rocker from Midwest Drum and Percussion here in Wichita, Kansas. I remember going into the store and not knowing much about drums other than that I wanted to play them. So I picked out a kit that I liked, and the folks working at the store agreed that it was a good entry to mid-level kit, and it really served me well growing up and learning to play the drums. After high school and collecting a few paychecks, I decided to upgrade to a 6-piece Tama Star Classic Maple in a beautiful black cherry finish, and that kit was amazing. It sounded great, it looked great, it was the envy of all the other drummers when we would play gigs. After retiring from live music, I decided to scale back to a Mapex Mars in bonewood finish with black chrome hardware and rims. It was an affordable, practical kit for playing at home. Then I upgraded to a Mapex Armory in a beautiful emerald green finish, and eventually caught the A2E bug. I had briefly considered electronic drums. I just didn't play my acoustic set much due to the sound, and I wasn't a huge fan of the size of the pads on most electronic kits. I did like what I saw of the acoustic looking electronic kits, but could not afford those options, so I decided to build my own. I love tinkering around, and I'm into technology and drumming, so it seemed like a natural fit. I ended up using a Roland TD-17 as the centerpiece, and internal triggers and mesh heads from Extreme Drums, and Roland, then eventually Lemon cymbals. The Roland cymbals were great. They're top of the line, fantastic cymbals, but they have a very high price tag, and with Lemon, especially the sizes, you really get a lot more bang for your buck. And that was a really fun project, and it opened up a whole new side of drumming for me. So here we are in 2026, and I'm back on a Ludwig kit. I've come full circle. It honestly feels a little poetic playing the same brand of drums that you grew up learning on. This kit is a 4-piece compact Ludwig Breakbeats by Questlove. It has a 10-inch rack tom, a 13-inch floor tom, a 14-inch snare drum, and a 16-inch bass drum with a riser. Now, I've got to say, I was a little worried about ordering this kit. I was concerned that I would feel like a giant towering over a children's kit, especially considering I'm about 6'2", but I don't get that sense at all playing on these drums, honestly. The build quality is really solid, the drums are well manufactured, and honestly, I think if you put some nice heads on them and tune them up, you could get really good sound out of these drums. They would be great as a beginner kit, or even a mid-level kit for a gigging drummer who plays shows where he doesn't have a lot of room to play, or maybe just wants something smaller for loading and unloading. Honestly, I feel like that's a criminally underrated part of gigging, is the ease with which you can tear down, set up, transport your drums. I love a 6-piece, 2 up, 2 down, but it is so much to set up and tear down, and it's amazing how quickly you can put this Ludwig Breakbeats together and then tear it down. And honestly, I think you could probably transport it in the trunk of a car. I'll be honest, nostalgia played a role. I almost went with the PDP New Yorker in a similar configuration, but after receiving damaged drums on more than one occasion, I ultimately decided to go with the Ludwig Breakbeats. And that's actually what this first series of videos on my channel is going to be about. The conversion process from an acoustic Ludwig Breakbeats to an electronic drum set. I'm going to be using a Roland TD-17 again, Simmons electronic cymbals, and extreme drums, internal triggers, and mesh heads. Now, I'm not being paid to say this, but these triggers and mesh heads are top-notch, and the company is excellent. Marshall Rinker there is brilliant. He builds everything himself and is just the most genuine and helpful person you could ever imagine. Along the way, I'll be documenting the whole process, the decisions, the install, dialing in all of the settings, and sharing all of that information with you. I'll be honest, one of the decisions I had to make early on was what I wanted to use as the centerpiece for this drum set. I considered the eDrum 12, which is a MIDI interface. That means you would be required to plug it into a laptop basically and run a program like EasyDrummer 3. And the appeal of those is that they are generally cheaper than a full-on module. Now, unfortunately, with tariffs and taxes and duties, the eDrum 12 ended up being about as expensive as a used Roland TD-17. And given that the TD-17 is a standalone module and one that I have experience with, ultimately I decided to go with that one. So if you're into drum gear, A2E builds, or just want to find out if a compact kit like the Ludwig Breakbeats can actually work as a hybrid kit, stick around because that's exactly what we're going to find out. Please, if you're new, like and subscribe. It really does help out new channels. I will be producing more content in the near future, so whether you're here for the gear, the builds, the reviews, want to tighten up your playing, or just want to see how a compact Ludwig holds up as a hybrid kit, stay tuned for more content. There's sure to be something here for you.